Have you ever wondered if something as simple as drinking water first thing in the morning could be doing more harm than good? We've all been told, start your day with a glass of water, it's healthy. But what if I told you that, especially as we age, that glass of water might not be as straightforward as you think? If you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, you probably know by now that your body just doesn't respond the way it used to. Maybe you wake up and feel queasy, get a headache, or your stomach feels off, even when you're doing all the right things. It's not your fault. The truth is, your body's needs change as you get older, and some of the habits that worked in your 30s or 40s can quietly start to backfire. This video isn't about scaring you or telling you to stop drinking water. It's about uncovering the hidden mistakes most people make every morning. Mistakes that could be affecting your digestion, your energy, and even your medication. We'll share real stories from people just like you and practical tips you can use right away. By the end, you'll know exactly how to turn your morning hydration into a gentle, healing ritual that supports your health, not one that unknowingly sabotages it. Stay with us, because what you learn today could transform the way you start every morning for the rest of your life. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Mistake number 1. Drinking ice-cold water on an empty stomach. Let me ask you something. Have you ever taken a big gulp of ice-cold water first thing in the morning, only to feel a sudden twist deep in your stomach? Maybe even a shiver racing down your chest? Sometimes, it's more than just a brief chill. Some people experience lightheadedness or a pounding headache shortly afterward. And yet, most of us simply shrug it off, blaming it on stress or a rough night's sleep, never stopping to think that this simple morning habit might be at the root of the discomfort. Here's the truth many don't realize. Gulping down cold water on an empty stomach is a harsh shock your body just isn't ready for. Think about it. After hours of peaceful sleep, your body has been quietly resting, healing, and slowing down. Your organs are in a calm state, your digestion has paused, and your blood vessels have gently tightened to conserve energy. Suddenly, morning arrives, and instead of easing gently into the day, you slam on the brakes by pouring ice-cold water down your throat. It's like trying to start a car on a frigid winter morning without warming up the engine. Everything tightens, contracts, and your entire system jumps into defensive mode. And this is where age plays a crucial role. When we were younger, maybe in our 30s or 40s, our bodies shrugged off that cold blast with ease. It might have even felt refreshing, energizing, like a splash of cool air on a hot day. But as the years go by, our metabolism slows, our circulation becomes more fragile, and that internal thermostat we once took for granted becomes far less forgiving. The same icy water that once invigorated you can now leave you feeling tense, uncomfortable, even a bit unwell. It's not the water itself that's the problem. It's the temperature and timing that are too extreme for your body's morning rhythm. Let me share a story about Eleanor, a vibrant 76-year-old woman I know. Eleanor has always been sharp-minded and full of life, and she cherished her habit of grabbing a cold glass of water right from the fridge each morning. It was her little ritual to clear her throat and shake off the last remnants of sleep. But over time, she noticed troubling changes. Her hands felt icy cold, her stomach clenched with cramps, and her digestion slowed to a crawl. Mornings, once her favorite time of day, started feeling heavy and uncomfortable. It wasn't until her doctor gently suggested trying room temperature water that she decided to give it a chance. Within just a week, the difference was astounding. Her mornings became peaceful again, her stomach relaxed, and she felt more in tune with her body's natural rhythm. That simple shift, just letting the water warm slightly, was a small change with a huge impact. This is a powerful lesson for all of us. What worked when we were younger doesn't always serve us well as we age. Our bodies have carried us through decades of life's joys and challenges. They deserve kindness, patience, and a gentler touch. So instead of jolting your system awake with an icy shock, why not treat your body with the care it craves? If you've been reaching for that ice-cold glass each morning, try switching to room temperature or lukewarm water for a few days. Pay close attention to how your body responds. You might just discover your mornings feeling calmer, more balanced, and altogether better, and that's a gift worth embracing every day. Mistake number 2. Drinking water too fast or in big gulps. I get it. There's something so satisfying about waking up in the morning, grabbing a glass of water, and just downing it as fast as you can. Maybe your throat feels parched, your mouth is dry, or you just want to get it over with quickly so you can move on with your day. That feeling of gulping down that refreshing liquid seems like the perfect way to start, right? But here's the surprising truth. Drinking water too fast, especially right after you wake up, can do more harm than good. It's a mistake so many of us make without even realizing it, and it can leave your body feeling unsettled for hours afterward. Think about what your body is doing in those first few minutes after you open your eyes. It's still waking up, slowly rebalancing itself after a whole night of rest. Your heart rate is gently picking up, your blood pressure is finding its normal rhythm, and your stomach is just starting to rouse from sleep. Everything is delicate and in transition. And then, suddenly, you pour down a big gulp, or even a whole glass, all at once. That rush can shock your system. You might feel your stomach swell uncomfortably, or a bloated, uneasy sensation creeping in. Sometimes it's worse. You might get dizzy or even a strange flutter in your chest that leaves you puzzled and worried. The issue isn't the water. It's the speed and amount you're forcing on your body before it's ready. When you gulp too quickly, your kidneys have to scramble to process that sudden flood. Your electrolytes can get thrown out of balance. And for those of us who are older, with bodies that don't adjust quite as fast as they once did, this can ripple through your whole system. The result? Feeling off, shaky, or drained well into the morning. Let me tell you a story that stuck with me. Walter is a 72-year-old retired coach, a man who's always been disciplined about his health. He told me he used to wake up and chug an entire bottle of water before even standing up. He thought he was doing the right thing, that he was being proactive. But some mornings, he felt dizzy, sometimes so bad it made him pause and wonder what was going wrong. After a chat with his doctor, he realized the problem wasn't the water itself, but how fast he was drinking it. So Walter changed his approach. He started sipping slowly, over 15 to 20 minutes, taking time to sit up, breathe, and let his body ease into the day. No more rushing, no more gulping. And just like that, the dizziness vanished. His mornings became smoother, his energy steadier. There were no fancy medications or drastic lifestyle changes, just a simple shift in how he drank his water. So, if there's one thing I hope you take away from this, it's this: your body doesn't need a flood of water the moment you wake up. It needs a gentle, kind stream. Slow down. Sit up. Take a deep breath. Sip mindfully. Let your body welcome the hydration, instead of being overwhelmed by it. It's not a race. It's a moment of care for yourself. If you've been racing through that glass, try slowing down tomorrow. I promise, sometimes the smallest changes bring the biggest relief, and you might just feel the difference all day long. Mistake number 3. Drinking from plastic bottles left out overnight. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. This might catch you off guard, especially if you're someone like me or many others who keep a water bottle right by the bedside. I've seen it countless times. It's just so convenient, isn't it? You wake up thirsty, the bottle is right there, and you take a few sips without a second thought. It feels like such a simple, harmless habit, even a good one. But here's the truth that most people don't realize. When you drink from plastic bottles that have been left out overnight, especially in a warm room, you're potentially inviting some harmful chemicals into your body. And that's something we don't want, especially as we get older and our bodies don't bounce back quite as easily as they once did. What looks like just plain, pure water may be carrying invisible risks. You see, plastic bottles, especially older ones or those made from lower quality materials, can start to leach substances into the water over time. One notorious chemical is BPA, which many have heard of. Even if your bottle proudly claims it's BPA-free, beware. Other chemicals are lurking in plastics that act similarly, quietly interfering with your body's delicate systems. When heat and time combine, like when a bottle sits by your bedside all night, these chemicals become endocrine disruptors. That means they can mimic or confuse your body's natural hormones. And as we age, this hormonal balance becomes even more fragile. Maybe you're managing thyroid issues, blood pressure, or blood sugar levels. Introducing foreign chemicals, even in tiny amounts, can tip the scales and make it so much harder for your body to keep things in check. The scary part? You might not notice anything immediately. It's subtle. But over weeks and months, people begin to feel worn down. More tired than usual, mood swings that don't make sense, bloating, or just an overall off feeling that's hard to put your finger on. Let me share a story about Stanley, a 78-year-old friend of mine. Stanley had always taken pride in staying hydrated. Every night, he'd fill up a plastic bottle with tap water, set it by his bedside, and take sips throughout the next morning. It seemed like a healthy, sensible habit. But after a few months, Stanley started noticing headaches creeping in more often. His digestion felt off, and he was exhausted even after a full night's sleep. Confused and worried, he saw his doctor, but no red flags were found. Then, after a consultation with a nutritionist, the culprit became clear. That plastic bottle, reused and left near a warm lamp, was quietly poisoning his routine. Stanley switched to a glass bottle and began refilling it with fresh water each morning instead of reusing old water. Within just weeks, his headaches faded, his energy surged back, and he felt like himself again, vibrant and alive. Look, I'm not saying a single sip from a plastic bottle will ruin your health overnight. But when this becomes an everyday habit, day after day, week after week, the toll adds up. Your liver, kidneys, and hormonal system all have to work overtime to clear these chemicals. For those of us in the golden years, that extra strain matters deeply. So, if you're glancing at a plastic bottle sitting on your nightstand right now, maybe it's time to rethink that little convenience. Choose glass or stainless steel instead, and make it a habit to pour fresh water every morning. It's a small change, but sometimes the smallest changes bring the greatest peace to your body and your heart. Mistake number 4. Drinking water on a very full or very empty stomach after certain medications. Let's pause for a moment and walk through a typical morning in your life. You wake up, sometimes reluctantly, maybe feeling the weight of a restless night, and your first thought is to take the medications that help you manage your health. It's become a ritual, almost automatic. Reach for your pills, then a big gulp of water to wash them down. Your doctor's advice echoes in your mind. Take your medications with water, so you do it without second guessing. But here's the thing, a detail so small it's easy to overlook. How you take that water, when you drink it, and what else is in your stomach at that moment, can profoundly affect not only how comfortable you feel afterward, but how well your medications work. Imagine your stomach as a delicate ecosystem, a finely tuned instrument that awakens each morning gradually, readying itself to process food, fluids, and medicine. When you drink a large glass of water very quickly on an empty stomach immediately after taking medication, you might unknowingly be throwing your system into turmoil. The sudden rush of water can irritate the stomach lining, leading to uncomfortable sensations like nausea, bloating, or even burning heartburn. It's more than just an annoyance. This irritation signals that your stomach's protective barrier is being challenged. Worse still, this overwhelming intake of water can dilute stomach acids and digestive enzymes that are essential for properly absorbing your medication, reducing its effectiveness. You might be taking your medication exactly as prescribed, But if your body isn't absorbing it well, the benefits diminish. Now consider the opposite scenario. You've just had a large, hearty breakfast, and you take your medication with a big gulp of water. This might seem harmless, but if your medication is meant to be taken on an empty stomach, that full meal combined with a lot of water can delay or prevent the medicine from being absorbed properly. Sometimes, food and water together can bind with the medicine, making it less bioavailable, meaning less of the drug reaches your bloodstream where it's needed. This situation can leave you frustrated because the medication doesn't seem to be working, even though you're following instructions. What many don't realize is how sensitive our digestive system truly is, especially in the morning. Our bodies are living, breathing, ever-changing systems. Overnight, hormones like cortisol and insulin are fluctuating, stomach acid levels are adjusting, and our digestive tract is slowly ramping up from its resting state. When you suddenly inundate your stomach with pills and a flood of water, it can respond with discomfort, signaling that it needs more time or gentler treatment to process everything properly. This is where personal stories illuminate the truth behind the science. Take Margaret, for example. She's an 80-year-old woman I deeply admire, resilient, spirited, and committed to managing her thyroid condition with care. For years, she had a routine. Take her thyroid medication first thing, wash it down with a large glass of water, then wait a bit before breakfast. Everything seemed fine until one day she started feeling inexplicably queasy every morning. No changes to her medication, no new diets or lifestyle shifts, and her blood tests came back normal. Yet, the nausea persisted, shadowing her mornings with discomfort and worry. After many doctor visits and discussions, the breakthrough came from a simple question about her water drinking habits. Margaret realized she was gulping down too much water, too quickly, immediately after her medication. This overwhelmed her sensitive stomach, causing nausea. With a small but powerful adjustment, taking just enough water to swallow the pill and then waiting 45 minutes before eating, her symptoms disappeared. Even more astonishingly, her follow-up blood work showed improved thyroid levels, meaning her medication was finally working as intended. This minor shift transformed her mornings from a dreaded experience to a calm, comfortable start to the day. Margaret's story reminds us how often the smallest changes can have the biggest impact. It's a testament to listening to our bodies and treating ourselves with patience and gentleness. If you've been experiencing fogginess, queasiness, or general discomfort in the morning, please don't just accept it as normal aging or blame your medications outright. Instead, pay close attention to your routine. Notice how much water you drink with your pills. Are you drinking it too fast? Is your stomach empty or full? These subtle factors can alter your experience profoundly. Here are some practical tips to help you find the right balance. Take your medication with just a small sip of water, enough to swallow the pill comfortably but not so much that your stomach feels flooded. Give yourself at least 30 to 45 minutes before eating, especially if your medication requires an empty stomach. If you're unsure about the best way to take your meds, don't hesitate to ask your doctor or pharmacist. They can provide personalized advice that fits your specific medications and health conditions. Above all, remember this: aging gracefully means embracing the wisdom of gentle care. Our bodies aren't machines. They're living companions on our journey. By listening closely, making thoughtful adjustments, and approaching each day with kindness toward ourselves, we can improve not only how our medications work but also how we feel waking up each morning. Peaceful, confident, and ready for the day ahead. Mistake number 5. Skipping breakfast and replacing it with only water. Let's take a moment to be honest with ourselves. In today's world, there's an overwhelming amount of advice on what we should or shouldn't do when it comes to health and wellness. Social media, wellness gurus, and even some medical advice flood our minds with catchy phrases like, "Just drink water in the morning and skip breakfast," or "Try intermittent fasting for better health." These ideas sound simple and appealing. After all, who wouldn't want to start the day feeling light and detoxified? But here's the thing: what works for one person might not work for another, especially as we age. For younger adults, skipping breakfast or just having water in the morning might fit well with their metabolism and lifestyle. Their bodies tend to recover and adapt faster, and they often have reserves of energy and nutrients that can carry them through those early hours. But for older adults, those of us who have lived many decades and whose bodies have naturally slowed down, this habit can slowly drain our vitality. It's a subtle thief of energy that creeps in quietly, often disguised as just part of getting older. Think about what your body has just been through overnight. For about 8 to 10 hours, sometimes longer, you haven't eaten anything at all. During this time, your body is fasting, and it's using up the stored energy and nutrients to keep your organs running, your brain functioning, and your muscles in shape. When you finally wake up, your blood sugar is naturally low, your energy reserves are depleted, and your brain, which demands a constant supply of fuel to keep thoughts sharp and mood stable, is craving nourishment. Your muscles, which need protein and minerals to maintain strength and coordination, are waiting quietly for you to feed them. When you greet the morning with nothing but water, it may seem harmless at first. Water is incredibly important, hydrating your cells, flushing out toxins, and supporting every system in your body. But water alone cannot provide the vitamins, minerals, protein, and healthy fats that your body needs to restore its energy and keep you mentally alert. As the hours tick by without food, you may start to feel that creeping fatigue, the shakiness, the irritability, or that frustrating brain fog that makes even simple tasks feel like climbing a mountain. You might blame it on a rough night's sleep, stress, or just feeling old, but more often than not, it's simply your body's way of signaling, "I need fuel." If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Adding to this, many people pour themselves a cup of coffee on an empty stomach after their water, thinking it will wake them up. But coffee is a stimulant, and while it can give you a temporary boost, without food to anchor it, caffeine can push your body further out of balance. It revs up your system but doesn't give your cells the substance they need to work properly. Over time, this can lead to more pronounced energy crashes, jitteriness, digestive discomfort, and a general sense that mornings are harder than they should be. I want to share a story that touched me, because it's so relatable and so many people might see themselves in it. Alice is 69 years old, a sharp, independent woman who values her autonomy and lives life on her terms. Like many of us, she wanted to simplify her mornings. She had read about intermittent fasting and the potential benefits it offered, so she decided to stop eating breakfast altogether. She would just drink water, sometimes coffee, until noon. At first, she was pleased. She dropped some unwanted pounds and felt proud that she was doing something healthy. But it wasn't long before things began to change. Alice noticed her mood was dipping, and she felt more anxious and irritable than usual. Her memory started playing tricks on her. She found herself forgetting appointments and repeating stories without realizing it. Her daughter noticed these subtle changes and gently encouraged her to visit a doctor. Thankfully, no serious medical issues were found, but the answer was clear. Alice simply wasn't giving her body the fuel it needed in the morning. Her brain was running on empty. Once Alice made a small but powerful change, adding a modest breakfast consisting of a boiled egg, a slice of whole grain toast, and some fresh fruit. Her energy and mood transformed. She felt lighter but stronger, mentally clearer, and emotionally more balanced. That simple shift brought her back to the vibrant woman she knew herself to be, reminding her that nourishment isn't about eating more, it's about eating right, especially at the start of the day. So here's my heartfelt advice. Don't fall into the trap of believing that less is more when it comes to morning nutrition. Water is vital, no doubt. But your body also needs real, sustaining fuel. A little protein to support your muscles and brain, fiber to keep your digestion moving smoothly, and some healthy fats to provide steady energy. These nutrients help keep your mind sharp, your mood steady, and your body strong. If you've been skipping breakfast because you think it will help you feel lighter or healthier, please reconsider. Tomorrow morning, try starting with something simple and nourishing. It could be a handful of nuts, a bowl of oatmeal, a small smoothie, or even some fresh fruit and yogurt. Notice how much better you feel, how your energy stays more consistent throughout the day, and how your mind becomes clearer. Giving your body what it needs first thing in the morning isn't just about food. It's about self-care, respect, and kindness toward yourself. It's about acknowledging the incredible vessel that carries you through each day and treating it with the love it deserves. Thank you so much for watching and spending this time with me. Now, I want to hear from you. What's the most important thing you've learned so far from this video? Is there a new insight or habit you're inspired to bring into your daily routine? Please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences and reflections not only help you stay accountable but also inspire others in our community. Remember, small changes, like adding a simple, nourishing breakfast, can make a big difference in how you feel each day. So, what will you try tomorrow morning? I'd love to know. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support means the world and helps us continue to create content that empowers you to live your healthiest, happiest life. See you in the next video.